Another little highlight, something that was in the news. It was at least catching my timeline on Twitter up quite a bit. People thought that Toto Wolff was being a bit too hard on his young Italian driver, Mercedes Kimi Antonelli. They've been up in arms over these comments. Kimi Antonelli finished 9th after a rough start in the feature race. He lost 4 positions, recovered back to 8th. Black flag for exceeding track limits, pushed down to 9th. Toto Wolff called the performance underwhelming. After a P6 start, not necessarily great. You can't put the car in the gravel bed, expect to be there. All the race was underwhelming, according to Toto. Is there merit to that? How do we feel about it, Sam? I'll let you go first.
I mean, yeah, it is underwhelming, but not surprising. I mean, you and me had this conversation before the year started. I was very skeptical about Antonelli actually being able to really compete in the sport this year, just because of his age and his lack of experience. And he's showing it. As the year's gone on, he's had a couple of really good moments, but man, he has really just made some really big mistakes over the year, and he'll grow out of them. I think I see the talent there. I understand why they got him when they did, but in doing so, they kind of needed, I think, to temper their expectations a little bit when they took him. I think Toto's frustrated because I think he expected this kind of thing early in the season, and I think he was hoping that by this point that we would have signs of encouragement and that he would be growing and just improving and getting better. And in some ways, it almost feels like he's going backwards, right? He's making more mistakes. He's getting into more accidents with other drivers that are his fault. And he's put it in the wall a few times.
The incident,
it's an interesting situation
where he went into the gravel trap. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I was talking about, Max isn't going to go to Mercedes, right? Why would you mess up that lineup? But at the same time, I can also see the argument of maybe Antonelli, I don't know, right? The kid doesn't quite have it yet. If you have this competitive car and you get Max Verstappen, I don't know, maybe you do go get Max. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to give him another year. They're going to hope that he just continues to grow as a driver. He's so young.
Yeah.
He's so young. He's 18
years old, too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
He's
a kid.
People throwing their arms up and saying, wow, this guy doesn't belong. Or maybe he should have stayed in F2.
He probably should have.
I mean, but we also saw those moments early in the season that he went from P16 to P4 in crazy ass Australia, right? He found himself, he landed on the podium in Canada one way or the other. He did get there.
Yes, he did.
He was taking it to Max during that race and looked really impressive. You could argue that, of course, the McLarens don't clash, that maybe one of them catches him and takes the position, but he held him off and played good defense too. Mm-hmm. We've seen these moments, but you did hit the nail on the head there. It feels like he's kind of fallen back. Maybe it's a confidence thing. There's been a lot of media regarding at least their last upgrade they got at Imola. Just didn't quite click. It worked in Canada, but that was really outside of what actually happened during that stretch. Had the DNFs in Imola, Spain. Things just weren't quite working. Yeah, he's definitely having rookie moments. Toto did follow these statements, though, and this is part of where I'm kind of pushing back on the Toto Wolff slander, to give him a little bit of grace here. It's he did say this: it doesn't change anything on my support and confidence in his future, because I believe he's going to be very, very good, but today was underwhelming, going on to mention that he didn't feel like George's performance was necessarily as good as it could have been too. It's creating a lot of heat, at least within that little corner of the internet, and people who watch this video, it's noise, but I think that overall, yeah, he was underwhelming. I mean, yeah, it sucked. You go from P6, you lose 4 positions. That's not a positive sign, right? That is an unfortunate thing that happened. But even Antonelli in the post-race interview talked about it himself. Let me see if I can find the quote here. Yeah, he said, I made a mistake at the start, lost brake traction, lost all the places there. On the medium, wasn't too bad. And the hard, he struggled too. So it's not like the kid is going, woe is me. I just did my golly gee best and it just didn't quite work out. No, he owned it. I think that part of this is Toto's going to say things that he feels that he can say that are comfortable. It's like coaching somebody, right? I'm not going to you need praise if you're coaching somebody, sure, but you also need fair criticism. I think Toto is fair to be critical here. He had a bad performance, caught a black flag, turned a P6 into a P9. It is underwhelming. It's his home race. At the end of the day, it's still a learning year. They knew this going in. We're signing the youngest driver in the program's history, right? We are signing somebody who's going to be taking Lewis's seat. We are signing somebody that is 18 damn years old, just turned 19 this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And there is going to be a lot of learning this first year. He's learning how to be a professional, firstly. He's learning, secondly, a number of these tracks he hasn't been to ever in his life. And at the end of it all, too, he's learning how do you push? What's comfortable to push? Where do you not push? It's all a learning process this year. So he's going to have moments. And I think Mercedes knew this too. I'm not surprised. He's already exceeded my expectations up to this point in the year. He's had a rough stretch through Europe, yes, but early on, he's already done everything that I was hoping would happen. So from the rest of that point on in the season, it's just learn as much as you can, kid. Come back in year 2 and hopefully it works out better. It's a whole new regulation in the car. This is all just like, we're growing the infrastructure. We're getting you settled in because we don't think we're winning anything this year either. Just get comfortable. Wrong?
Yeah, and to defend Toto for a minute, it's not his job to coddle this kid. Like, he needs to get the best out of him, and he's making mistakes, and that can't fly. Like, he can't sit there and be like, oh, it's totally okay. Like Antonelli's at an age where, yeah, he probably needs a little bit of tough love. He's actually going to be the driver that, Toto wants him to be moving forward, right? He doesn't have that clout or that experience to fall back on where Toto can say, oh, he just made a mistake. Whatever, it's fine. It happens, right? Like, George has earned that, right? Lewis earned that before. Bottas earned that before. Like, but he's so young that, yeah, he's going to need a little bit of tough love. He's actually going to grow into it. Like you said, it's like coaching. He needs it. And every driver, every person in any kind of coaching situation needs to be tailored towards them, right? And I have faith that Toto knows exactly what he's doing in how he tries to get the best out of Antonelli. Everybody's different. Like, maybe Lando, for example, needs some more coddling, right, for him to actually get to be the best version of himself, right? But maybe Antonelli isn't like that. And I mean, Toto just has the experience too that he can fall back on, where he knows probably what's best in these situations, and I defer to him in that situation. I think it's just noise. They're just looking for something to, put in the headlines, but I don't think it's a big deal at all.
Yeah, I mean, anything outside of the building, I think everybody's looking for him to always be praised. And look, I'm the biggest Kimi Antonelli fan that I know, and this about me personally. I am. It is not just for the podcast. I'm not playing a character. I really do believe in the kid. I like the kid a lot. I think he's fantastic. And I give him probably more benefit of the doubt than anybody. But yeah, this weekend was underwhelming. This was not a good performance by any means. It was kind of frustrating, if anything. But what I'm hoping for as a Kimi Antonelli fan, just block out the noise, social media. Don't even be on it. Just show up, learn from Bottas, who's still there for the rest of this season. Go through the programs. Just get comfortable. Like, you're not going to beat George this season. That's not going to happen. I think winning a race was incredibly optimistic goal for anybody this year. Hell, Isaac Hadjar got a podium, and that's going to probably be the highlight of his V-Carb career. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen again, right? Expectations are what they are, but just tune out the noise. Just get comfortable with the infrastructure. I don't think Mercedes are botching this. I think they're doing fine. And constant praise all the time of, oh, it's all going to be okay. You're just a baby. It's fine. Like, this is professional sports at the end of the day. Yes, you do need some tough love. You do need some coaching. And if I, at least from the athlete perspective, I'd imagine he's probably being harder on himself than anybody is around him. Right. It'd be like a pro quarterback who threw an interception being like, oh, it just happens. Like, no, that they're going to go to the sideline and be upset at themselves. You got to move forward. You have to have somewhat of a short memory, but like, you try not to make the mistakes again. So
the other thing about Kimi is that people need to remember, like, he's also learning not just how to be a Formula One driver. He's also learning how to be an adult. Like, he's literally 18 years old. We've all been there. If anybody who's 18 is watching, you'll come to understand this. When you're 18, you're learning a lot about yourself. Yeah, you're learning a lot about yourself at that time. So that's something else you need to keep in mind with Kimi. They've given an 18-year-old basically a rocket ship and told him, drive it around this track.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know about you, but me at 18, you could not give that to me and I would do anything good with it. He's doing a much better job than I think most 18-year-olds would in that situation, regardless of talent.
And doing a better job than I think probably a lot of people in the F1 community are probably giving him credit for too. Look, he's not like he's walking into like V-Carb. He's not like he's walking into Williams. It's not like he's walking into Stake. He's walking into Mercedes, which do have championship level aspirations, but I don't think he's there by accident. I'll put it like that. They don't bring this guy in unless they believe that he could really be something. I've heard Toto talk about him and kind of liken what they're trying to do with him to what McLaren did with Oscar. They brought him in when the team wasn't necessarily planning to win anything, let him develop for a year as they developed, and now they're reaping the rewards of this. McLaren have a great problem on their hands. They've got two guys who could win championships for them. One guy just happens to be a little bit better and has out-progressed what they thought he was going to be. But it's a good problem to have two guys that can win you races. Mercedes are trying to do the same thing. So I want to know what the TLPs think, though. What do you guys think about the Antonelli saga? What do you think about him as a driver? Do you think Toto's comments were too harsh? Were we maybe being too realistic? Whatever. I want to know what you guys think, though. Drop those down in the comments below.